What's happening, good people? It's Marty here. I wanted to run you guys through a class where we're moving onto the floor. Very rarely in our everyday lives now do we have any excuse to be down onto the floor, unless obviously you're a carpet layer or you do jobs on the floor. Even in our workout routines, we're wearing thick shoes, knee pads, and we're moving on a very thick, soft surface in most cases. Like when you see it in gymnastics, we've got a really soft mat. Even in Pilates, where Ange taught Pilates for years, you're using a reformer where, same thing, they have a very soft surface. Moving on the floor can really teach you a lot about your body, and it can also really help with joint strength and mobility. It actually works our core without us even working too hard when we go into these positions or even this position. And it also teaches us a lot about our coordination, or at least teach us a lot of coordination work. Let's get to it, shall we? Before we do anything, it's always important to really warm up the wrists, as we are doing a lot of wrist bearing exercises. Starting off with our favorite ones, the wrist flexion raises onto a quadruped position, shoulders over our knuckles. Keeping those elbows straight. From here, move your knees in closer to your wrist line, especially if this is the first time for you doing it. From here, have those fingers spread as far apart as you can. Make sure they're not enclosed like this. We won't get much movement if they are. So fingers spread, pressing those knuckles into the ground, lifting those palms up with control, slowly coming down. Watch that we're not using our hips to get our palms off the ground. So remember, bring your knees in closer. It should mitigate that. 10 of these up with control and slowly coming down. 10. There's 4 I've already done. Keeping those fingers spread. We go up with control and slowly come down. There's 6, 7, 8. Here's 9. There is 10. Another wrist warm up I want to do. Let's bring our wrist underneath our hips. From here, shifting your weight over to the left side. Your arms are contracted here. And bring your right hand down, shifting your weight to the right, over to the left. And we're changing the directions of where our fingers are pointing as we shift our weight from left to right. Like I said, elbows straight. Your arm is contracted. Slowly lowering down onto your wrist. It's a great warm-up and safe way to really warm up our wrists. We do this for about 30 seconds with control and with care. Move them in different directions in a pain-free motion. So if this is too much, bring the knees in closer. The closer your knees are, or the less weight onto your wrist, the easier it will be. Okay, so once you've done 30 seconds, I usually like to do 2 or 3 more rounds of those same exercises. Let's get started to some crawling work, shall we? Back onto your quadruped position. For the easier version, let's keep our knees down. From here, let's shift our weight to our left hand and our right foot. So we're having this kind of bird dog position, except just lift your right hand off, left foot comes off. From here, get your right knee off, weight onto the right foot, place your left foot down, bottom down, right hand behind you. Over to the other side, so left hand comes up, right foot comes off, weight onto your left foot and to your right hand, and down, back into your quadruped position. Let me face you to this side, going back the other way. So left hand comes up, right foot, left knee comes up, right foot steps forward, bringing your bottom down, left hand comes back behind you. Let's get back into our quadruped position. Left foot kicks back, right hand comes back down, and your right knee comes back underneath your hips. If you're still finding that a little bit difficult, let's go through that slowly another 3 more times on each direction. If you found that one too easy, let's bring our knees off. Immediately, you'll feel your core working to keep you stable. All right, so same thing here. Right hand comes up, left foot replaces where the right hand was, and we keep our hips up the whole time, or at least off the ground. Over to the left side. There we go. Shifting back into our crab or tabletop position with our hips up. Same thing, 3 times each side, so that's going to be 6 all up. Here's 3 for me. And here's 4. See if you can keep your elbows straight as well. Keeping those elbows as straight as you can, and see if you can keep your shoulders over your wrists when we're in the quadruped position. All right, at least 6 of these. Once you've done 6, go ahead and bring your knees down. So we'll be in the squat position for the next one. For some people, I know this squat position is actually quite difficult to access. Your squat, if it looks like this, your back's rounded and this is as low as you can go and your knees collapse in. Lift up your heels onto the balls of your feet. You can keep your back as straight as you can. From here, hands reach as far forward as you can for our frog leaps. Reach as far forward as you can. Bring your hips up and step at least, or at most, 2 steps. This is the regression, easier version. So shifting your weight over to your hands and step 1 foot at a time, 3 times going forward. Stretching your hands forward. And once we do 3, we go 3 backwards, shifting your weights back onto your wrist, step your feet back, and bring the weight back to your feet, and reset, shifting over to your wrists. Whoop. Should be a step. Hips come up, step your feet out, walk your hands back to your feet. If that's you find you're working pretty hard on that one, or you find that one a little bit difficult, keep going. Make sure we're moving pain-free. If you want to make that a little bit more difficult, let's just slide our feet or have our feet hover. So reaching forward, feet come down slowly with control. Reaching forward, weight onto our hands, and as slow as you can, lower your feet. Reversing to the other way. Same thing. 3 times. See if you can keep those elbows straight as we shift our weight. All right. Let's face the side now. So here we are. Same thing. We can have our heels off if having your feet down is a little bit hard. Okay. From here, shifting our hands over to the right side. If this is a little bit difficult for you, or this position here, shift your hands a little bit forward diagonally, making some space for your hips to come up, and then your feet to walk or step behind your hands. We go over to the other side. Reach as far forward as you can, hips come up, feet step behind your hands with control. Up to you how your feet get there or how you step there. As long as we end up, feet behind our hands. Let's go 3 times each side, 6 all up. If that one was a little bit easier for you, make the distance a little bit shorter. So step your hands to the side, bringing your hips up, allowing your feet to hover. Come behind or to the other side of your hands. Over to the right. Shifting your weight to the hands, slowly transferring your weight over back to your feet. Same thing, 3 times the side here. All right, here is 4. Whew. Here's 5. Shifting your weight over to your hands and try to have a small, pronounced hop. All right. Those are the 3 patterns I wanted to run you guys through. I usually like to do that one at least 2 to 3 times around, and I usually do these after I have a strong strength session. I like to explore what my body can do after I've worked with weights and body weights. Now, once you start to understand it a little bit more, you can play around a little bit and jumble those 3 moves around. For example, we can start off with our frog leaps and then go to the side, and then our transitions to the crab, and off we get. Once you get used to it, once you've worked through enough, give that a go. If you like what I had just taught you, if you want to see more content like this, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And yes, if there's any other questions, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy this one and see you for the next class.